Am I the asshole for letting my daughter flaunt her expensive items? I, 50F, and my husband, 48M, have a daughter, Danica, 21F, who has been extremely independent her whole life. Danica began working when she was 15, and now she works part-time for a large corporation while pursuing her studies. We are extremely proud of her and how hard she has worked. We generally allow her to manage her own finances, and she insists on contributing monthly to family expenses with the money she earns. Danica occasionally likes to make pricier purchases, which I do not have any concern over, as I think they are sensible financial choices. Like last year, she decided to purchase the newest MacBook as her old laptop was on its last leg, and she wanted something reliable and long-lasting, or when she bought a Marc Jacobs bag for work and university. We recently went on a family trip with my brother and his family, who have 2 kids of their own, Tammy, 20F, and Nick, 23M. His kids and Danica aren't exactly close, but they get along fine for the most part. I know that Tammy and Nick do not have any source of income besides my brother and have not worked a day in their life. During the trip, Danica would occasionally pay for the 3 of them for small things like drinks or food. When we were shopping, Danica bought a few items for herself and picked up gifts she wanted to bring back to her friends. During dinner that night, my sister-in-law, brother's wife, told my husband and me that we were spoiling Danica too much with her purchases. We explained that Danica earned her own money, and every cent came from her job. Sister-in-law then proceeded to point and tell Danica that if that was the case, she shouldn't be flaunting her purchases and items in front of her cousins, who don't have a cushy little office job, and parents who spoiled her into the person she is. Danica apologized politely, saying that she didn't mean to flaunt her things, but I could tell that she was upset and embarrassed. My husband stood up and shot back, saying that Danica shouldn't have to apologize for her own hard work. I also pointed out that Danica has been financially independent since she was 15 and that we've always done our best not to spoil her. Sister-in-law then proceeded to tell us that we weren't teaching her how to manage her finances correctly and that all this money had turned her into a little brat. Danica excused herself to the bathroom and texted that she had gone back to the hotel. We had a tense back and forth for the rest of the dinner, and we came back to finding Danica crying in her hotel room. I call my brother, hoping that he is able to talk to his wife, but he explained that for the past few days, Tammy had been crying to her parents about not having what Danica had. She had been whining to her mom that she wanted the newest MacBook, as well, but she refused to get it for her. Myself, Danica and my husband have been getting calls from the rest of the family, some calling us a-holes and some who were willing to hear us out and understand where we were coming from. So am I the asshole? So 2 grown adults complained to their parents about what a 3rd grown adult has bought with her own money. Do they not realize how pathetic that sounds? Not the asshole, your daughter has done nothing wrong. A 20-year-old crying to her parents about what she doesn't have. A 21-year-old having financial independence and purchasing her own belongings. I think we all know who the little brat is in this scenario. Please don't subject your daughter to their emotional abuse anymore. She shouldn't be forced to vacation or hang out with people who talk so poorly about her to her face and behind her back. Tammy can go and get herself a damn job if she wants what Danica has, and their whole family can apologize to Danica while they're at it. In fact, I'd let your brother know you won't be speaking to them again until that happens. Protect your daughter. Your brother's wife is a jealous bully. Danica has every right to spend her own money on what she wishes. She should be congratulated for doing so well for herself at an early age. The only criticism I have of you is talking about allowing or letting Danica do things. Danica is an adult. It is not your decision anymore. But definitely in this conflict, not the asshole. Not the asshole. I'm trying to figure out a nice way to say this, but if their kids can't handle seeing someone with a MacBook and a Marc Jacobs bag, which are nice items and not cheap, but also not exactly ridiculously expensive, they're going to have a hard road ahead. A MacBook is something that can last for a pretty long time. Same with a Marc Jacobs bag. Plus it's possible to buy both used or on sale. Or both. Nothing you've said makes it seem like she's really flaunting her money or even engaging in over-the-top consumerism. And even if she was, she's an adult and that's her business. It's not your place to control her. If anything, she's teaching them a lesson they should have learned years ago. If they want more disposable income than their parents provide, they need to get a job. Rich that your daughter is being called the brat when it's your niece who is being a brat. Entitled brat wants nice things? She can work for it herself. Not the asshole. Am I the asshole for not driving to my mom's house after she said she might need 911 and then went silent? I'm 22F. Last night my mom called and said she wasn't feeling well. She was nauseous, raspy sounding, stuttering, throwing up, and said, "I think I might need to call 911. As a nursing student myself, I asked questions to understand what was going on. She said she didn't have chest pain or breathing issues, and that her heart and lungs felt fine. She mentioned she had eaten meatloaf and an edible earlier. Based on that, I told her it could be a bad reaction to the edible or a panic response. I offered to call 911 for her, but she said no, that she didn't want anyone to see her without clothes on. Then she asked me to come over. I paused and asked, for what, trying to understand what she needed from me. She didn't answer the question. Her tone changed completely, and she said, "Never mind, don't worry about it. I need to focus. Love you," and hung up. She hasn't responded to any texts or calls since. I considered driving to her place, it's about 45 minutes away, but she's done similar things in the past where she creates urgency and then disengages. It's hard to tell when it's a genuine emergency versus emotional pressure. I decided if I didn't hear back by morning, I'd call in a wellness check. Still, I'm wondering if I should have just gone anyway. I don't want to assume the worst, but I also don't want to keep falling into emotionally manipulative situations either. Am I the asshole for not going up there personally to check on her because of her patterns? Edit. The police were called and my mother is okay. She's very upset that I didn't go up there to see her, and she doesn't want to communicate anymore. She says she's alone and no one cares about her and that I broke her heart. Honestly, as messed up as it seems, I'm really relieved. I'm even more relieved that my mother is okay, but I think it's best as well that my mother and I pause communication for a while to heal. Thank you all for your thoughts. Why would you wait till the next morning? Call in for a wellness check now. Edit to add. Snarky comments about calling the cops should go to the person saying they wanted her to have a wellness check in the morning, which is op, not me. The only reason I put wellness check versus ambulance was because of how the post was worded. Getting help now versus later. Not the asshole. Your mother is attention-seeking and emotionally manipulating you. I recognized the pattern straight away after dealing with my father, who did exactly the same thing for decades. I'm gonna trust that this is a pattern of behavior that's creeping into toxic, controlling, boundary ignoring. 'Cause without that you'd def be asshole in my book. But taking your word on that, then not the asshole. Not the asshole, and the people telling you that you should have reacted more have obviously been lucky enough to have lived a life without a relative like your mother. The whole point of her call was a test to see how much control she has over you. Not the asshole. There's that story about the boy who cried wolf. This certainly sounds like she's being manipulative, and that's not behavior you want to encourage. I agree with the others about a wellness check. Not the asshole. She was capable of calling you, which means she was capable of calling 911. She also told you not to call 911. Then add in her long history of these histrionics. Yeah, no. I have a mother like this. You did the right thing. Don't enable this. Am I the asshole for yelling at my partner who keeps buying crappy branded food when I've asked him not to? My partner, M37, and I, F38, have 2 young kids and we are well and truly in the trenches with our newborn at the moment. Both of us are like ships in the night, barely have time to think or do anything, and our routine has been shot to bits managing our newborn. He has taken on the responsibility of going to the supermarket more these days as he finds the walks enjoyable and takes our toddler out whilst I'm home with the newborn. I sometimes buy myself a coconut water as a treat as I love this one brand. Recently he's been buying some coconut water for me because he knows I love it. But when he's at the shops he grabs the cheapest brand coconut water, but I cannot stand the taste of it and have asked him calmly several times to not buy that brand and to please spend the extra $1 to buy the other brand one that I really enjoy. So back note, my husband is the stingiest cheapskate known to man, and he's actually admitted to me his money saving isn't normal compared to others. We both have seriously well-paying jobs and are not financially stressed at all. He just loves a bargain and buys the no-name brand everything all the time. He says he just grabs the one mindlessly and doesn't mean to upset me, but he's done it 5 or 6 times now, and the last time I didn't get angry at him, I just got him to really focus and explain my frustrations and for him to please stop buying that brand. It tastes gross, it's not a treat for me, and to please get the other brand that I would occasionally, and he was like yep of course and said he would. Like he has every other time. But I thought sort of explaining it more it would sink in. Then today he brought home the shit weed tasting stuff again and I just lost it. We've had a huge weekend, I'm sick and a coconut water would have been the nicest treat for me, but bringing home the brand I cannot stand felt like it was the biggest punch in the gut to me. When I saw it, I was literally shook. I just lost it and yelled at him and was like, what the fuck, did you buy this shit again, and threw the carton in the bin without even opening it. He was like, whoa, I didn't do it on purpose. I then yelled, what is wrong with you? Like, why do you keep doing this? And he just walked out of the room, so it ended there. He got really upset with me and said I'd made him cry by yelling at him and made our toddler upset. 'Cause he got a bit scared when I yelled. The whole thing felt like a complete setup to me, and I don't know, after asking 5-6 times previously patiently and calmly, how to not get to a point of just cracking up and yelling for him to stop buying that stuff, because it feels like a constant reminder of how much he doesn't care about me after asking him to stop buying it several times. Am I the asshole for yelling? Like, what's going on here? Try telling him that when he buys the brand you don't like, he's wasting money rather than saving it, because from now on you will look him in the eye and drop it in the bin unopened as soon as he hands it to you. Maybe the idea that his money is going in the garbage will get through. Honestly, it sounds like weaponized incompetence, except he forgot the, well, I just won't do it then, step. Not the asshole. He was like, whoa, I didn't do it on purpose. Didn't do it on purpose, my ass. You've told him several times. You say he has a well-paying job, so he can clearly follow directions there. Like if his boss told him, I need you to call this client at 3 inches, he'd do what the boss said, right? Then he can damn well buy you the right drink. He just doesn't want to. Edit. Not the asshole. Made him cry. Oh boo-hoo. He's made you cry a bunch of times buying you a shitty drink that you didn't want. It was an accident, yeah, right. Not when you have said something 6 times already. He needs to read the essay about how she left me over leaving the glass in the sink. Here is a Reddit link to it. I used this one because there is another link to something about the mental load that women carry. That one is good, too. Opening square bracket. This is a really weird microaggression on his part, and you have every right to be pissed. Not the asshole, he did do it on purpose. Next time, silently open the carton and pour the whole thing down the sink in front of him. Don't say a word, then give him the baby while you DoorDash a single item branded coconut water. Watch him go crazy. Yeah, he's doing it on purpose. He wants to feel like the good buy for buying it but not spend the extra dollar. He doesn't like to waste money, so just keep throwing it out. Don't say thank you. He will eventually either stop buying it or get with the program. Am I the asshole for getting mad about a Brita jug? I always use the Brita filter in my fridge to fill my 40 ounces tumbler in the morning. It had been a few days in a row where the jug would be empty before I could fill up my tumbler, and I thought I was losing my mind because I was filling it like always. I thought it might have been my boyfriend who doesn't normally use the filter, so I decided to ask him. I didn't want to sound accusatory, so I asked, hey, have you been using the Brita for water in the night recently? Quote. He replied, yeah, I've used it to fill up my glass. I said, oh okay, that makes sense. I haven't been having enough water to fill my tumbler in the morning and thought I was losing my mind. Do you think you'd be able to just top it up if you use it in the middle of the night so I can have enough in the morning? Quote. I thought it would be a simple, yes, I didn't even realize. I will do that from now on. Instead, he told me I was ridiculous for needed a full 40 ounces of water in the morning and that he shouldn't be expected to fill up the Brita every time he wanted a glass of water. There have been other instances, like if I left a few dishes in the sink, he washed his own and left mine. They have all added up to really bother me, and when I brought it up again, he basically repeated the same thing. He also said that I shouldn't even need that much water, that I could always fill it up wherever I was going, etc., etc. Basically, if you want to fill your water, that's not my problem, and you should be the one checking it's full at night. Which I always do. Except he was using it in the middle of the night when I was asleep, loudly crying. I told him that if my partner isn't willing to do something as simple as taking a few seconds to fill a jug so I can have enough water to fill my cup in the morning, that was incredibly selfish and not a life I was looking forward to. We've been together for almost 4 years and been through each other's side for a lot. Our relationship isn't abusive. There's been no cheating or anything, so now I'm wondering if I'm just blowing this out of proportion. To me, it's more about the principle, not the incident. Like if you love someone, you should want to help them out in small ways like that? But maybe I'm being unreasonable? IDK help. Am I the asshole? Our relationship isn't abusive. There's been no cheating or anything, so now I'm wondering if I'm just blowing this out of proportion. A relationship not being abusive doesn't make other shitty treatment okay. Your partner not abusing you or cheating on you is literally the bare minimum, and you shouldn't accept other shitty behavior just because of that. Frankly, he sounds selfish and just generally a dick. Not the asshole. This is the part where I get petty. Fill up your tumbler the night before and leave the Brita almost empty. Just enough to give him like 2-4 tablespoons of water in a cup. When he gets upset, why are you so upset? It's not like you have to drink that much water anyway. It's the middle of the night. Or whatever. But I'm an AH. Fill a bottle with the filtered water last thing at night so that you can have the extra water always available for the morning. That is a quick fix. Now you have to fix the boyfriend. A good man would think to himself, if I drink this my love will be short in the morning, not telling you that you are ridiculous. He should be doing his share of the chores. You are in red flag territory. This reminds me of, she divorced me because I left dishes by the sink. Same selfish and disrespectful mentality in the man's part. Not the asshole. Not the asshole. It was one thing before he knew he was leaving you short, but now he knows and is going out of his way to justify not helping you out instead of taking the 2 seconds to fill it. I know everyone loves to jump to breaking up, and obviously I don't know your relationship. But if this is how he acts when he's asked to do small things to help you now, how do you think he'll act if you end up in an accident or getting sick in the future and need assistance? To me, the Brita is a small part of a potentially much bigger issue. Not the asshole. He just told you that you aren't worth the effort to refill the pitcher that he just used. Believe him. This is the man you're with. Do you think you deserve to be treated this way? Would you ever treat someone you love the way he's treating you?